So this next project is from my neighbor. They got a dog bed, but when it arrived, there was a piece knocked off. And so they called the company and say, oh, we don't sell just hardware or whatnot, so we'll just send you a whole new dog bed. So they sent them this as a replacement. So they were just saying, hey, can you make a piece that fits on there that makes it look like this? Well, the only things with that are there's a countersunk hole and two spots and there, and they just had these bits, so that should be really easy. And they even were cleaning out the garage and said, hey, here's some extra wood if you want some wood. So I can use one of the chunks of 2x4 because this is basically slightly under 1.5 and 1.5 square, and it's rounded off corners, so I couldn't just use a regular 2x2 because the 2x2s are rounded off and this is more square, but I can cut that out of this piece no problem. The other thing I noticed was they have really crappy connections, so I might also glue the existing ones, put some glue up in there and just clamp it just to see if that holds a little bit better, because this obviously is not, well, it's cheap, you know, that's what cheap furniture is, right? You cut corners, you don't really glue it right, it's just sort of there, and that's the way it is. So in any case, the next project is going to be make a replacement block of wood, drill some holes, and attach it to here, probably using this piece of 2x4 they gave me. So there we go. So here I'm setting up to cut the 2x material into a nice square, basically with some sharp edges. So I got one part cleaned off and I'll set it up. And originally I was going to try and use that, and I realized, no, I'm going to cut that if I try and use that piece. So I used my little hold downs, and I like the vertical featherboard, but it does make it much harder to push things through. It holds it down, but it makes it a little bit of a challenge. So, and there's a little extra pieces that go flying off. And now I'm squaring up the ends now that I got a nice square block, and cutting it to length, so that way we have a nice square block both directions. And here I'm trying to get it such that I found a bit that fit the hole exactly, but as you saw, you tap down through, move, tap, 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 and it pulls away. Need another clamp, so go get another clamp. That worked a little bit better. I'm still not 100% sure. Looking back at the video, I'm not sure that that face that I'm clamping to is square to the other piece, because the holes didn't line up nicely. And also, I measured, and they were more than the two different holes in the stock piece were more than a 32nd off between them, so it was not a precision piece. So here I was trying to drill down through with the small bit, but I had it chucked up too high and it wouldn't go through, so I tried with the drill and then look, and realized that's not going to go great because it wasn't going straight through. So I just put it in the cross-slide vise, set it up with a 1/2-inch Forstner bit to do the countersink, and then realized, yeah, before I move that, switch to the drill bit to drill the hole, since the hole is currently centered, because I realized when I attached this on here, I didn't square it up front to back, so if I run the movement directions, such as I did to there, it's not a direct just shift it forward. There's a little bit of sideways that has to go. So in order to do two holes like this, I have to line each one up, and then every operation in that hole has to be done with all the bits. That way they're centered. But that worked. And then here I'm gluing it up, and then once it's all glued up, spray painted it. And it's a mirror image of the actual fixed one, and hopefully that will work just fine.